Hi, this is VeGamers. Welcome to Goddess Era, a new beta game. 37,000 users, and yes, I'm making a voiceover over myself. This is a quicker way to update what's going on with the advanced changes, and so we are now operational with iOS. We've had a server merge of servers 1 to 65, which were the first beta testers. They have a strange competition with Goddess Era Paradise Oath, in which the admin of Discord say just ignore. I've tried it and it just is the same game, which is weird. It has strange regulation all over the world. It's got new voices like Japanese and Korean. In this version I'll be rushing through much faster. It is the free-to-play run-through of Goddess Era, but I have since had about 150 days over 5 accounts. This loading screen is already archival footage because Gabrielle doesn't exist anymore. And so, tip 1, skip as quickly as possible through everything, and you start off with Nero. Everyone starts off the same, so tip 1, Nero is mage, and we want fighters instead at the beginning of the game. Mage is endgame. Tip 3, the second character we get for free is Jeanne d'Arc, and she is not bad support in that she helps with the healing of the team. She also revives. Tip 4, you can either collect many supports and have a lead of Lionheart, or you can collect a tank with 1 or 2 supports preferably, and the rest are fighters. Remember, mages are endgame. Tip 5, lots of summoning going on, but check the box, save some time, and skip the summoning graphics. Tip 6, the next summon will be Cerberus. She's not bad as a mage and even a tank because she auto-revives. She can be raised well over level 255 unlike others. But there will be plenty other tanks to come. Now this is an important part because you are forced to raid once, but you're going to save all your other raids for later quests. That was tip 7, but now for tip 8, you're about to summon next Cupid. She was formerly called Amaterasu. Now, Cupid is not good. Even though when you face her, she's very good. She revives relentlessly. She's also a tested style by the beta testers. Notice that she does only have 3 skills, when the better characters have 4 skills. Tip 9, for the next hour, you'll be constantly fighting enemy opponents. They will get ever so slightly harder, but nothing to worry about. You just need to wear the equipment that you are automatically collecting. You have to choose your gender, it doesn't affect the game. You have to choose your name, make sure that the name isn't vulgar, which it already gave me a vulgar name called Fanny. Regarding Cupid, we're likely not going to have her style anymore. She's a modern style, but they've conducted polls and people seem to like more futuristic styles. Tip 11, these adventure diaries are very important. Go through them methodically and then even look at the future diary to see what's going to come next. For example, one of the missions is collect gold rains. So again, read ahead of what you have to do, and don't do those things until you have to do them. Tip 12, these login gifts are the same for everyone. It's always diamonds, the prime currency of this game. The second day will be Lionheart, which is a great carrier all the way to level 255. As with most games, the sign-in dailies are cut off if you're not starting at the beginning of the month. A great time to start is before an event starts. Join the Discord to see when the event starts, or practice playing in one version, and then start at 1 a.m. Server time to start the next server. That was tip 13 and 14, but here's tip 15. As always, do these boss battles. You check if you have to click a next button so that you get greater XP the next time you play. Tip 16. Now that you're level 10, you can input the codes PH888. The next code is 7 now, but since May 2022, there weren't many. That was GE777, then God 888, then God 516, then Goddess 123. They decided to only show 4 of the codes on Discord because people were just Googling all the codes and not entering Discord, and so that doesn't win for them. It doesn't help retention. I certainly recommend Discord, so you can see in pictures, get lots of help from us with the latest codes. We have 7 codes now, so the other late PH888 was the 5th code, and then we have Atropos 2211. Atropos was November, and then this December we have Nyx 2212. That's Nyx, NYX. Tip 17, you've just witnessed that sacrificing in the palace, you need to preserve 3 of each when you sacrifice when you have over 10. That way is suggested by the Discord admin so that you don't run out of space. It's okay, but there is a pitfall with the light and dark crystals. They can accumulate over 10, and then although you've paid up to 320 diamonds for one, they can be automatically demolished when you have over 10. So don't open the light and dark crystals. Here in shot you see the little spiky green, pink and blue crystals. The light and dark are a very scarce material. Tip 18, apparently by law they have to show their probabilities of opening these different tiers of goddesses. It is possible to get the best goddess in game. I've just seen it recently by one player on Discord. They've showed that they've got from a basic summon the best Brynhilde tank, and she's quite a fighter too. I'll correct myself by saying scarce, not scarce. Which leads us to tip 18. Materials are scarce, so you have to be very careful in only upgrading who you need to upgrade. So we do recommend upgrade Cerberus. Fine, she's got 4 skills, she's a good tank, she revives automatically, very frustrating for the opponent. Tip 19, once you've downloaded the latest version, currently at December, is 1.0.93. It may say that it's a small download, like 33 megabytes, but times that by 10, indeed it'll be about 7 gigabytes, I think it is now. If your download is slow, if you're not fully downloaded, or you have VPN issues, then you will have issues within the game, like blacked out characters. 7 gigabytes is, of course, absolutely huge. It means that if we had data miners, they'll be able to see the furniture, for example, that is built in within the game now that we've downloaded it, and extra characters. There have been some sneak peeks like Hell, which hasn't came out yet. I think that's happened in the past, that someone has found it appear in game, bought it quickly, and then it hasn't been released for anyone else yet. Tip 20, you've just witnessed characters use tier up crystals to advance to the next stage. They do cost, 500 gems for 1,000, I think it is, maybe 250 gems. You'll be plowing through your gems at the beginning. Every character that you get, every new character that is, you gain 100 diamonds. And so don't be fooled that you have this large supply every day of diamonds. At the beginning, you have more diamonds than usual. Tip 21, summoning. You do get greater odds when you summon 10 at once. So here in one of my accounts, I summoned an Apollo, which is very rare. Pretty good end game with her boosts. Super rare, I'd add, because over the 5 accounts and about 100 levels, I didn't get another Apollo until one more. So keep an Apollo if you get her. You may have already Nyx, Pandora, or an Anubis, but you need 1 color of each for the healers for in a later game. Tip 22, there are certain parts of the game in which you can click and like other people, and they will like you in return if you get lots of likes, especially across server. In your server, you'll just get a profile wreath, but if you get multiple server characters befriending you and you befriend them back, then it does give you a bonus, a little bonus, like gold and materials for your dragon. Tip 23, only open your chalice when you're ideally at the 12 hour mark. That's when it is filled up. If you buy things, you become VIP, then it fills up a lot larger. Tip 24, Dragon Tower opens up if you delay going through the levels, and then you are super powerful and you can quickly, as it shows, you can bypass the fighting. Tip 25, I have other videos showing the roulette, which is next, where I'm opening even 1,000 tokens, and you don't spin the roulette when the reward is just a meager blue or purple weapon or gear to wear. But at the beginning of the game, you might be pushed for resources, and so you'll have to use up all your roulettes and try to buy as many as you can from the guild once you get in the guild, that is. The more you progress in game with the levels, the better prizes in the roulette. Tip 26, there are instances you keep checking on the roulette, it refreshes, and you can actually get a gold drop, but you need even hundreds of tokens to get that gold drop. And if you pay a little money with VIP, then you can automatically open 12 roulettes at a time. It's probably slightly better odds, but I've seen opening 150 or even worse just to get even a basic purple character. Tip 27, as we've just seen, you get 3 rebirths per day. You have to choose wisely and use them up so that you get your materials back to increase the levels and skills of characters that you do want rather than the characters that you don't want. An alternative is save up enough characters of the same color so that you can upgrade them. You need the same character to duplicate them, and then that automatically eats the other characters so that you get the materials back that way automatically. Tip 28 regarding lineup formations. Most of the game you'll be just using formation 4, very end game maybe formation 6. Tip 28 is that the dragon that you're leveling up, just concentrate on the end dragon. It's the hardest dragon to get, and it will stun your opponent, so it's very helpful. But dragons become very costly, and in later game you will backtrack and use the penultimate dragon, and then the dragon even before that for your 3 teams. Tip 29, at this point, if you're free to play, you're screwed with the raids. You can only raid more, which is the fastest way to progress in the game, if you buy extra raids. So free to play will get stuck until the 24 hours passes, and then you can do your 4 raids. It doesn't matter if you can't progress the 5 raids per mission, because there's plenty of other missions to pass to get the 100% to open all chests that you need. Tip 30, if you buy the extended raid pack, then you also need to buy the extension of diamonds, because those raids, as you saw, end up with being 200 diamonds each, and that will quickly plow through your starter diamond setup. Tip 31, as the title warns, only 6-star the characters with a duplicate, the characters that you need, and when it tells you to do so within the adventure diaries. If there's any missions that want you to do it, then you have to wait until that mission is first created. I said before, Lionheart is great to upgrade, but why is she great? It's because she's like an S+ in disguise. She stores her hit for later, but she sure can hit. You can upgrade that with a physical combo, upgrade that in turn, and so she can almost guarantee a hit. Upgrade her ether jewellery, so she hits harder. She's not replaced until level 255 or 270 with Michael, and even endgame mages. Not Hades anymore, which was up to level 364. Now up to meta 392, where Gabrielle and Uriel are still used. So it used to be a mix of light and dark in the meta, but now it is at the moment a full light since the weapons have been brought in. Not everybody has a weapon, so the meta can still change. You can keep updated with my latest tier list that I have videoed. Tip 32, when you're starting out, you want to get the most duplicates as fast as possible to get the rewards of being first place in arena, for example, and other competitions. To get the highest scores in your guild, too. And of course, to help your guild members to smash through the guild bosses of being the ordeal and rivals, so everybody gets great rewards. It's luck based, so if you're getting lots of character of one type, then you can upgrade them, you can dupe them, no problem. And just at level 9 is the time when you can feed them to light and dark characters, and that's the end result. So you can actually save a lot of money if you don't pay for or grind the colored characters, being red, blue, and green. You can cut to the chase, cut out the middleman, and go straight for the light and dark, but they will be very expensive with materials. You'd have to pay for these materials if you're going straight to the light and dark. Otherwise, if you're free to play, it's best to collect one of each color, one blue, one red, one green, one light, and one dark. That was tip 32. Now for tip 33. Be careful with the altar summons. You can only use the altar extra shop if you're VIP. The normal altar tokens, free-to-play player can use. You can amount up to 45 to get the best players in-game, but it takes a very long time, about 7 or 8 altar stones per week. Tip 34. With events, you can get 10 to 20 more altar tokens. They can drop in the fancy shop for only 500 gems. Normal cost is 1,000 or 1,050 diamonds. Tip 35, go to the shop. Very costly to refresh. You will get the same characters once you refresh. So only buy Thor and Gabrielle, and it takes months to accumulate the tokens to get those. Even if you're not going to use a Thor, but we hope that Thor will be used as an S+ character and has a 50 US dollar cost for her special skin, but it's a skin that doesn't give her a benefit, a bonus, a boost. Tip 36, next was Divine Expedition shop. Again, the best thing to do is to save everything up and get a Thor. You can also get a Michael, but Michael is a lot cheaper in the arena store. At the end of all that, your third team can be a Loki. You can buy from there. Tip 37, Wheel Shop. Buy order gem only because you need 125, or you can also, if you need, the light and dark crystals for about 320 diamonds each. Tip 37, Rank Shop. Just buy amulet fragment and refined drop, and when you've accumulated 700,000 guild points, you can then buy the tomes for the guild skills. Tip 38. Cross arena shop. You'll only be buying amulet essence for months on end. This is to expand very expensive seals up to level 4 maximum. Tip 39 with the summit shop, ditto. When you're a beginner, the other shops don't open, and so I'll have to explain those later. Tip 40, Ygdrassil tree. Access it from here. You slowly level up your characters. You don't need to use your gold or experience, but do duplicate them once they're in there, and they'll serve you better, stronger when you're in team 2 and 3. There's a lot to read there. There's lots of conditions. Level 205 for the character, but also level 115 minimum requirement as an in-game profile level, and then you can upgrade everybody in the Ygdrassil past that benchmark, and then there's a further benchmark which is used with the light and dark characters once they are 11th star. Tip 41, Divinity Expedition. Look at your team, whether you need an extra tank or a fighter or even a mage. Use this cross if a character has died and they'll be resuscitated, or if everybody's alive, then it will choose one character to upgrade. Use the well to increase your team if a lot of them are low in HP. That was tip 42 and 43, but tip 44 is that you want to delay until the second day of the expedition to start playing. That's for the purpose of running rewards for mini events. You want a rounded team to win it easily. Later you'll be asked to go easy or hard mode, but just click easy so that you can win the mini events. That was tip 45, or tip 46 is skip the shop inside there, it's not worth it. Tip 47, if you're dying, choose a blue opponent. Tip 48, you can throw in another healer to replenish your whole team. And tip 49, always choose opponent chests until the moment when you can choose one character to help you. rather than the wishing well. That way you will win the mini event. That's if you start the event at the beginning of the refresh of the server, which is midnight. That was tip 51. Now tip 52. I have to freeze this to catch up. Amulet crafting. From the beginning, buy amulet potions and flowers in order to quench. I'll explain that with tip 53. Craft 5 green into blue. Always check out if that blue is a magic combo, which you'll be saving for your Medea to double her damage on her larger skill versus the boss. Convert 5 blue into 1 purple. Don't worry about keeping the purples, because you'll be turning 5 purples into 1 gold. Now you'll be a hard pry away from 5 good golds, but once you can turn 5 golds into 1 red amulet, that's a Genesis amulet, that's when you can start quenching, which is upgrading its abilities. Tip 54, abilities which you want large burst damage. Tip 55, you can get what you want from the spin the wheel on the first spin or the 240th spin. So it's best to wait for 12 tickets and then spin at the same time, and with the premium wheel, wait for 10 tickets. Tip 56 regarding guild skill, only use them very seldomly at the beginning to boost your growth, but you'll be saving 700,000 points until you can use PvP skill. Tip 57, save up 800 warehouse candles, so that when a guild character drops from the rival boss, you can buy them straight away. It's first come, first served. And you can also pay 150 for the prisms. Tip 58, don't fight this Gilgamesh rival. Click right or left so you can choose to fight either the dark or light rival to drop really good characters. Tip 59, use 1 Atropos against them and you will double your score. Tip 60, you want to be buying Guild Lionhearts and Guild Kukulkans, but only to level 255 or 270, and then you can switch to red equipment sets. When you have every character with a red equipment set of 3 stars, then you can sell your equipment for more candles. That is your 2-star red equipment or gold set equipment. Tip 61, Medea is the only 4-star character to be used. When she wears 3-star red gear and has a magic combo amulet, then versus a level 255 ordeal boss, she will do 1 million damage. At that point, Bryn can do 3.5 million damage alone when she goes crazy. Tip 62, mostly throughout the game you'll be wanting Formation 4. You'll be using Formation 5 rarely, like in level 900 of Abyss. Tip 63, here's a picture of Medea, but at the moment there is a character who's very powerful, more powerful than anybody else, who was secretly dropped, well, by a mistake rather, and she is called Hell. She costs 100 jewels, and I think from time to time some players pick up these expensive characters before the developers realize they've made a mistake and delete them, and then they have to give out those goddesses when one person finds them. Even though the word on the street that this game is not beta anymore, it's got the full GEPO Goddess Era Paradise Oath, the skins are just superficial. They're underdeveloped, even though from the beginning you can pay $50 for a skin, but it doesn't give you any boost, except for the temporary skins, which only last 7 days. Likewise, the future character called Hell, she probably will change her skin that she won't look like Medea anymore. Like Alice used to have the Amaterasu skin. Amaterasu being called Cupid. Tip 63. Against Ordeal, you only have 5 rounds, so you want your hardest hitters. No healers. No defenders even. Unless it's a Bryn who gives the whole team harder hits with her armor break. Tip 64, you have to be VIP 1 to make a guild in the first place. But if free-to-play players skip the tutorials, then they can get into the first created guild. Tip 65, that first guild is usually by a knowledgeable whale. So you want to immediately donate just 20,000 gold and make sure that you're not offline for more than 1 day. Tip 66, be at least a vice lead, so that you can start rival fights as soon as possible and kick out those who are away for more than 1 day. And importantly, help new recruits to come in with no requirement. So that is set level to 1, set BP to 0, and set application to none. Unless you want to keep out riffraff. Tip 67, LH, that's Lionheart, is indeed the first character you want to increase. And here in the diaries, if you've been saving up your materials for the bounty quests, beware that you can only pass the raid 5 times if you are VIP. Free-to-play players just have to wait the next day. Tip 68, grab every single amount of money that you can, because you can't see it yet, but you'll be able to win. First prize is 2 purple amulets. You'll almost run out of diamonds, but it's worth it, for also you will get 10 premium wheel tickets. Tip 69, don't worry about the countless plethora of microtransactions. But if you are going to spend a little to VIP 3, then the Fenrir's gift is worthwhile for the gold. This mini event, Profit Grande, Tons of Gold, or Gold Rain, has many names, but you can only see the list of opponents after a high level. And if there's no experienced player on your server who knows this, then you're going to win. Even if they realize later, but they can't catch up to you, even if they buy the Fenrir pack. So conversely, if someone has bought a Fenrir pack and has collected every gold opportunity, then you cannot win as a free-to-play player. But you can sneak up on the second or third player. Tip 70, Lattices at the moment is like a mini bryn and an excellent tank to level up. But there's no point in going out of your way and buying colours when you're only going to focus on light and dark, which is the end game characters. Tip 71, you can however level them up all to star 9 and then feed them to light and dark characters. They don't have to be the same colour. Tip 72, this is showing you getting your materials back, whether you eat them or whether you roll them back or just rebirth them. Correction, that's tip 73. Now tip 74, whether you have a Cerberus or a Behemoth, you're great for tanking and stunning very, very early game, but you're quickly overridden by much better characters. Remember, if you have 5 characters at a high level, then in your Ygdrassil tree, you can have the new members all up to the same level. So on a competitive server, you want many characters in the background, and when you change your top 5, you want to very quickly, as fast as possible, level them up, and so that people can't start to beat you up in the arena. Tip 75, you always have to be mindful of setting up your setups. Your saved setups for main story, arena defense, summit defense, and a plethora of many that are growing and growing. So after upgrading just one character or eating one character to make a super character, then don't forget you'll have one space missing and you'll have to fill that gap time and time again. And annoyingly, the same goes with beasts. If you're changing just one beast, then you have to go back and change it, save it, and make sure it's saved on every single platform. Tip 76 regarding juicing up. There's far more ways to juice up that you don't see at the beginning. So of course level and gear makes you more powerful, gives you larger BP. There's also your dragon, beasts, and then crystals to bump you up. And the latest inclusion, 12-star weapons. This shop, tip 77, don't go for the raffle ticket. At free-to-play, of course you'll be needing the gold and the XP, but you'll only be able to get many purchases if it coincides with a mini raiding event. So save up for the Alt Prism, 200 token character. For cheap premium tickets, and if you can afford it, 250 token character, even if you need them just for food. Tip 78, notice the difference between challenge and raid. Even if VIP 1, make sure that you don't automatically spend your diamonds on that screen. Likewise, tip 79, look at Rising Seal, 1650 diamonds, not 1650 tokens. It's a trap. Tip 80, free to play, you can save up your dress tokens if you want to save them for a cross summit to be really powerful for 1 week. Tip 81. This is the old style Luna, and you'll not be able to see her again unless you record your collection. And the left player bottom character has the old avatar of Loki, but they haven't changed many 5-star models at all. Tip 82, because at endgame you'll be needing 3 teams. A red team is at the moment the most viable after first team light, full light, and second team dark or better light plus dark mixed. It seems to be no one has done it, but it is possible to have full 2 sets of light playing as your first and second team. As in a duplicate, both being 13-star, but 2 times 13-star bryns, for example, would take a lot of money or a lot of time. Probably 3 or 4 years free to play. Tip 83, I won't be dwelling on these gambling missions because I have full feature-length videos of these, but I will say that it's important to progress if you can stay awake during your part of the world to be able to play each one of these. Not only to get a feel, to master who is good and who is bad, but to get a trophy, which looks really good, and the reward of doubling your gamble is amazing. Now, it's not such a gamble. You get a free 60 tokens. If you lose everything, you get a free 60 tokens again forever until the very end. But you can only gamble a max of 1,000 tokens at a time, that is. So at the end, you can have thousands and thousands of tokens, which you can then use for really good prizes in the shops. Tip 84, use your arena tokens for Nyx and Michael. They are great light and dark characters, so that you'll be having also 1 red, 1 blue, and 1 green to power up as you play at the beginning, and then turn them in the end to full light. Tip 85, this is another event that's recurring every 2 days that is laborious, but it gets a lot faster once you can skip the characters, once you know the good characters to play with, which will be the Pandora healer. If you haven't fed her to Lionheart already, you can also use the cheap Anubis, unless some have dropped for you automatically. Any healer is great, but you'll also need a Lionheart to defeat some opponents here. Wait for the second day so that you're the most powerful, but don't forget it, because this mini event gives you a lot of gold, and as you can see in this shop, you can buy many things if you have enough diamonds. Tip 86, don't worry if you get Cleopatra's questions wrong. You'll be able to replay these questions. They recur infinite times. You saw the offer there of an altar prism for 1,000 diamonds. It's only 50 diamonds less than the daily 2 altar prisms that you can buy. Tip 87, doesn't matter if you choose the good or bad answer with the cat or Pandora, and here you just choose the 200 diamonds, and it's just 33% chance you can win. You can even win with the wrong answers, and the devs won't change it because it's a different department who give out the rewards. Tip 87, you can either push forward on the ranks to try to beat everyone to the top, or you can wait and just play 10 levels, and so that it brings you back to -7 levels. You can see the instructions how that works. But the waiting is for mini events. That gives you a reward for progressing a large way. But if you push yourself too far, then you won't be able to progress on the second day, and you'll have to wait for yourself to roll back and then roll back again. But either way, you'll get a feel of which opponents kill you every time, and then you'll find opponents which you'll be able to beat them, like a bryn or a potion. There are a limited amount of red potions for health that you can regenerate yourself with, and there's a limited amount of poison potions as well. Depends on the floors. This Orochi can be beaten by a Lionheart at the beginning, but then needs an Eos later. So it's good to have more than one large hard hitter at the beginning. I say just to 10 levels, because in the lower left you can see that chest that is glistening. It says 10 out of 15, but that will rise 15, 15, then jump to 20, 25, and 30 is the maximum. Tip 88, in the bottom left there's a chest, which means in the top right there's always the key to it. You open it with the key and you sell those in your warehouse, which is usually the better option than saving 50 of them to create one character. Tip 89, don't let all your characters to die, because the next 2 days you get a bonus if you have one character that survived. I look at the ranking to see if I'm top 10, if I saw whether I need to push myself or just stay put. Tip 90, if you're free to play, don't worry about reaching level 55 here, because it's impossible. You can maximum 52 or 53. This, by the way, is a still of cutthroat competition where you have to use the bounty to get enough diamonds just to survive. And first prize also gives 1000 potions that you'll be using for seals. Tip 91 regarding seals, remember that you'd need 3050 tokens to buy the best seals. You need 3 of those to increase from level 1, plus another 10,000 potions. So you need a lot, but it's getting easier as they develop more additions to the game that give you potions. Tip 92, if you rush to level 80, then you can have these beasts and win opponents who are not level 80 yet. The purple books are not worthwhile if you buy not even the blue books. You need Archaeopteryx in the well, and the probability of these books giving you a gold beast is too small. It's not worth buying 10 beast papers from the fancy shop, because you can save those diamonds for a better opportunity once level 115 to 120 in the jewellery missions, where you'll be able to pray. 5-star mythic jewellery is being the end goal. So at the beginning, once you have the 4 slots of beasts, just put anything in, the best beast you can, whether it's 1 gold, whether it's 1 purple, or even 1 blue beast. Healing is better than anything else, unless you have PvP and then you change it around. You can have 3 different ways. You don't need to buy any more slots in which you can rearrange your beasts. A beast that helps a slash team, or beasts that are particularly good against dragon or guild bosses. Tip 93, the blues are negligible, so there's no point in boosting them up. Just destroy them, and so that you can have a little better BP. It's the purples that you want to feed to each other, and then feed ultimately the gold beasts. Speed beast is called Ether. That's the best Archaeopteryx to put in your wishing well. Use this beast versus guild bosses. Tip 94, if you're a free-to-play player, then you'll be running out of gold. So when you get around tier 80 of these beasts, you might want to not boost them up. You see in the bottom left it says level cap reached, but that's not much of an issue. You can buy those donuts in the shops. So tip 95, for those who've bought a fenrir pack, definitely buy those jars, because they will boost your BP, and you can buy them once per week. From a shop, that is. Tip 96, invite a person or let a person who wants to be pushed up by you, because they will be able to play your fights while you sleep, or do everything for you. You only need to do 15 fights, 12 or 15 fights, to be able to get your Prism. For tip 97, make sure you tick the tick box that says that you'll be able to transfer the captainship once you log off. Tip 97, pause if you want to admire the end game gear. Tip 98, these are the beast setups that you want. 99, the 2 endgame jewelleries that you want. Use Elven for the crit up, whether it's speed induced, or go full speed for Raphael, for example. And finally, tip 100, if you like what you see, like and subscribe. If you want to know what this meta is about, go to Discord, where you can see it in a larger format, and all my other videos where I've explained. So basically, we've got the light with weapons that are meta. The meta has only changed once in 6 months. So enjoy Goddess Era at the beginning of 2023.